Hari Om. The program to bring before you all the teachings of our Guru is named as Manthana. In this program of Manthana, the next poem taken up for interpretation is Guru Padaravinda, meaning the lotus feet of Guru. This poem is taken from the book Arivinaladinda, written by Pujya Shri Narayan Savant Guruji of Hari Om Trust, Bangalore. This is a small effort to present before you all the meaning of this poem as explained by Narayan Guruji himself. To understand any poem, especially that which is related to Adhyatma, it is very important to perceive the background and circumstances under which it was written. During the days of his spiritual learning, that is sadhana, he wanted to win the heart of his Guru. This desire itself has taken the form of this poem. Savant Guruji always says that the Parabrahma is the only Guru to this entire universe and I am just his Shishya. This poem is a guiding light to spiritual seekers. In this poem, he has explained how to win the heart and soul of a Guru, the secrets in doing so, the importance of undivided devotion of spiritual seeker towards the lotus feet of Guru, how a Guru tests his Shishya, how a Shishya has to face these tests with calm mind, how a Guru warns his Shishya when he is about to deviate from his spiritual path. Unending love of Guru towards his Shishya. There are 15 lines in this poem. For better understanding, this poem is divided into 4 parts. First, lines 1 to 3 tells about the secrets behind the desires of Narayana. Second, lines 4 to 10 speaks about the spiritual path taken by a Shishya to fulfill his desire. Third, lines 11 to 13 explains about the teachings of a Guru. Fourth, lines 14 and 15 discloses the total surrender of a Shishya. The first 3 lines of the poem are as follows. I bow to your lotus feet. I have a desire to reside in your heart. You revealed after I surrendered to you. As Narayana Guruji explains, there are many secrets and hidden meanings of philosophy in these lines. In many of the sacred texts, Puranas, mythological stories, we get to read that God resides in the heart of his devotees. But here it is completely opposite. The Shishya wants to reside in the heart of his Guru. What is the hidden message? Let us examine. Heart is an inseparable part of the body. It always resides inside the body. In the same way, the Shishya expresses his desire to reside in the heart of his Guru. That means he always wants to be with his Guru. To be with Guru means you need to get close to him. What has to be done to get close to Guru? Here is the secret. A Shishya has to silently understand the Guru Sankalpa, Guru's wish, Guru's gesture, and he has to work towards fulfilling them. Completion of such works will win the hearts of Guru, and Shishya gets a place in Guru's heart. When Guru's heart overflows with contentment, there is a possibility that the Shishya may receive the Guru's blessings. Shishya has to wait for that one precious moment. There is one more secret here to understand. To understand the mind of Guru and doing his work. It is not an easy task. You need lot of dedication, devotion, knowledge, energy, detachment, skills, farsightedness, and so many other qualities. All these qualities are lying in abundance at the lotus feet of Guru. Hence, whenever Shishya is about to begin Guru's work, he should surrender himself to the lotus feet of Guru and seek his blessings. A disciple has to win the heart of his Guru with complete devotion and dedication. When the Guru is completely satisfied by the disciple's devotion, only then Guru reveals his true form to him and bless him. A disciple has to remain as a disciple no matter what he achieves till he finally merges with Guru. Now, let us try to understand the second part of this poem, that is, lines from 4 to 10, which says, I am living like an earthworm, unable to understand your words, being deaf. Wandering in the woods I am. Disturbed I am because of enemies inside me. But still I have come crawling in search of the lotus feet, because my desire is to reside in your heart. Guru always keeps an eye on his disciples. For the spiritual development, to remove the karmas, Guru tests his disciples in many ways. Based on the devotion, firmness, attitude, belief, etc. shown by the disciple, Guru decides the next spiritual path for him. In order to understand these lines, we must first understand the life of an earthworm. It is a small creature that lives inside the earth, garbage, etc. Irrespective of its present status, it indulges itself in some useful creation activity to the farmers and the trees and becomes their friend. In spite of doing such good things, lots of birds, bigger insects try to trouble and eat it, but still it does not run away from such situations. It totally surrenders itself to nature, and with non-egoistic nature, crawling slowly, it faces all the odds. It does not build enmity with anyone. In the same way, no matter how stupid a disciple is, how much ever low his status may be, one should understand that there are ample opportunities for selfless service surrounding us. One should identify such opportunities and make the best use of them. There is one more secret behind this. Guru himself has created such opportunities for his disciples and is testing them through these. Hence, the disciple says, no matter how silly I am to understand your words, I may be wandering in the woods without any purpose, but still I shall try my best to do some selfless service because I have complete faith in you. In this manner, when the disciple moves one step forward to seek the blessings of Guru, the Shishya is attacked by the 6 enemies, which are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsara. This is where the real test begins. This is the time when he has to be silent, he has to surrender himself totally to his Guru. Instead of running away from such situations, he should stand firmly and face them, without making any enmity with them. He should slowly crawl towards the lotus feet of Guru, because his main aim is to reside in the heart of Guru. Now, let us look into the explanation of third part of the poem, that is lines 11 to 13. Amidst the crowd, you climb new heights, feeling proud. Beware, there are cloudy nets and cuffs. When you forget him, bee stings await you. In these 3 lines, the Guru warns the disciple who is in the spiritual path and also guides him. When the disciple crosses all the hurdles and reaches the next level, there are many people who praise him of his achievement. This may bring a kind of joy in the minds of the disciple. In future, this may lead to development of ego. If he falls for ego, then there is a chance that he may deviate from a spiritual path and may be again a prey for Maya or illusion. In the next line, words like cloud, net, illusion are used. The secret behind these words are: the sight of a spiritual seeker should always be towards the sky, that is Akasha or space. In such instances, illusion in the form of cloud may appear and block the vision of sky. This is the true testing time of a disciple. He should not lose his temper and calmness. Clouds are not permanent. After some time, they pour the water down and pass away. Hence, the spiritual seeker should not fall for worldly pleasures. He may lose the track. Be careful is the message here. The word Akasha is used symbolically here. Akasha means infinite. Akasha means space. It is everywhere. Everything is in it. In the same manner, God is everywhere and in everyone. As we see sky everywhere, we should be able to see God everywhere. This is the hidden meaning behind the word Akasha or space. The word cloud is used to denote our thoughts, negativities, and all those that block us from the vision of the Almighty. A spiritual seeker shall never forget one thing: whatever the good deeds and service happening through him, whatever the Loka Kalyana and good works happening through him, he is only the instrument. Everything is happening as per the wish and will of his Guru. Whenever the disciple forgets this, the tough time follows. This is indicated as bee stings here. In the last 2 lines, the disciple understands the reality and surrenders himself totally to the lotus feet of his Guru. The lines are as follows: forgetting thyself, I surrender to your lotus feet, because my desire is to reside in your heart. Here, the disciple does not give any interest to all those things which may deviate him from his spiritual path, and now he firmly believes that he is just an instrument and everything is happening because of the wish of his Guru. He now firmly understands that everything is you, everything is because of you, and everything is for you. The disciple, with total devotion, pure mind, surrenders completely to the lotus feet of Guru and makes himself available for Guru's work, because his ultimate goal is to reside in the heart of Guru. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
This poem has been sung melodiously by Sri Sanjay Kini, who is also a volunteer of Hari Om Trust, Bangalore. Please click the below link for the audio song.